Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Have a look. Sorry, I'm a little bit... okay, I'm not too late. I was just adjusting some settings. Okay, market is open. So, I did take a failure there. I went for 2 points on one contract. So, it's quite a nice failure and it worked. It didn't go for far. But it worked nonetheless. Karina, good morning to you. So let's see how boring the market is. Yeah, it's been a bit naff lately. Yesterday was just pants, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, really, if you look back a few months, that is just, it's such a small amount of price action overnight, really, isn't it? We're just up a little bit and down. And so, not sure whether there was a break here, but I had a look on the forums and most people have got that as a break. And often when you get a second entry along, when that triggered and came down there, I thought there is a break. There's bound to be some longs trying to push this higher, which is why I took that trade, and it did work, to be fair. But maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It still may push up and break the highs. Who knows? We'll see. So we get on today. So let me just put my light on. That might make it a bit brighter. Let me have a look. Just take that. Not the best camera, this. Just take down the that's a little better. It's not perfect, is it? So we go anyway. Okay, so we got two legs down here, or a bit of a channel with a possible break, but it's hard to say. We could go up or we could go. My gut feeling is this is probably going to come down. We'll see. There's almost kind of two little legs there. We'll see if we get a strong push. But we got this move up. We could get two pushes down and a move up. But my gut feeling is it's probably... but there was no real second entry. Kind of, you could argue there's two legs. But on my other chart, that could have gone for a channel up. Let me just bring that in. Could have just said that's a straightforward channel up. So it's not really much you can do there, unfortunately. So quiet day for me. I took one trade later in the day just on one of my accounts, but the others I did nothing. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. There's a possibility of two attempts to go lower. See, I've started trading some currency and they're big on fibs. And if you think about move up from overnights, we've actually pulled back right there to that 50% level. And we've done it again, more or less. So they're big on fibs. So we could get like a small break, two attempts to go lower, and this may go up. It's hard to say at the moment. Could go either way. We've got a push below the EMA. There's a bullish bar there. Let's wait and see if that bullish bar triggers and then see where price goes. If that bullish bar triggers and it turns quickly, then it may come down. But this is just, it could do either way here, really. Little Hammer, how you doing, pal? So we have got a channel down there. Could do either or here, but from that move up, we've bounced off that 50% once and almost twice. So we'll see. Just not much you can do with that, really. It's a bit too weak. I'd have preferred it to trigger that bull bar there. It's only small, but really it's nothing. It's a bit congested there. It could do either way. just looking at this, we've had a break. We've made one attempt to go higher and a second attempt to go higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if this came down. I know it's looking kind of bullish, but it doesn't feel it to me. I wouldn't be surprised if we had something like that. Don't know where the bottom leg is there. Gut feeling is this is likely to go down and play this out. I'll say, could be wrong. It's a bit too early, really. Trouble is, the less price action you got to play with, the sort of the less of a story it tells. So we're definitely finding some support there and there. Be interested to see whether we get a bearish bar here, because 1, 2, 3, possible triple test there. Yeah, just look at this is really interesting. This is looking at this other chart. We've got this channel up there with a, it's hard to say. Looks different on this chart. It's showing us we haven't had a break. I'm gonna say we've had 2 legs down, touch, touch, touch. Thought for a minute maybe there is a channel down there, but this is showing like we haven't had a break of this channel, so it isn't. We have had 1, 2. This looks like the third attempt to push higher. See, Thomas Wade hasn't got this as a break. I have. And I believe there is a break there. Just have a quick flick on Dan's there. So he's got it as a break. I don't think Dan's got a chart up as yet. Let me just look in here. Yeah, Dan's got it as a small break as well. So I think it is more likely going to be a break. And if it is, let's call this 1 push-up, 2nd push-up. We may get a triple test here. We'll see. Channel down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, failure. We'll see. I'd like to push up a little bit higher, at least to this, and then give us something bearish. Is that EMA's flattening out a bit? Bit careful. If this was a penguin style trade, a trade like this, he'd wait for a move below the EMA. Having just a bearish bar here could trigger you and push up. So looking at something like that. A break, 2 attempts. I mean, you can argue it's a break. It's very small anyway, so it may not even really be an issue, but whatever happens, we got 2 legs down, 2 attempts to push higher. See how far this goes. See if this thing just turns. be a penguin style setup this. If I do, I'll move on to single contract. But it would have to push through that EMA comfortably for me.
Order submitted.
That's a shame. We got a. This is a penguin setup. This we got a channel up with a break. One attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher, which fails. Pushes strongly through that EMA. I was hoping it would come back up and get me for here, and I'd be out now. That's a shame. I was hoping it'd come back and get me. I didn't want to just drop that in. I like it to push through first and then drop me order, but that would have worked beautifully if it had picked me up. If it had come back and got me, I'd have been out that trade in 10 seconds. Never mind.
Order cancelled.
Yours was, yeah. So, penguin style, you know, whether you guys watch it or not, I don't know, but we got a channel up with a break. One attempt to push higher, second attempt to push higher, which couldn't get up and fails. As soon as it pushes strongly through that EMA, the chance of it coming down is pretty high. Now, he would have waited for that to close and put a limit order in here. I'm guessing he wouldn't have got filled. Sometimes it'll come back and fill you and then push down. But it did work like it was supposed to. 2 legs up, which failed. Couldn't get up. And then straight down. You may even argue that a triple test. I wouldn't have taken it as a triple test because there's no decent signal bar. But the move was we couldn't get up. And as soon as it sliced quickly through that EMA, its number was up anyway. It just never came back, unfortunately. But it straight down and it worked nice. So that's a shame, really. But there you go. I don't mind missing them as long as I kind of identify them. So I'm all right with that. But we are bullish. Well, yeah, the overall picture I'm not so interested in. What I'm interested in is the move up with the break and the 2 failed attempts. We couldn't get up. And as soon as that goes through that EMA, chances are it's coming down to test these. Exactly what it did. I don't think anybody, there's not many people use the what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, but that's not a high probability trade. It's for me, it's a penguin style setup. Well, I see it as a penguin style setup, and it did what it was supposed to. So I'd be interested to see if he marks that later. I think he will, but we clearly got a push up, and we clearly got a break in the way of 2 legs. We made 1 clear attempt, which dropped back, and a second clear attempt, and same again. We didn't get as high, and then it sliced through the EMA. As soon as that goes through the EMA, all I'm mainly interested in is getting in here and getting out before the bottoms. And that went straight down. So it's just one of those things. So I kind of take what I see. So if it's a penguin style setup and I like it, I'll take it. If it's a pat setup, I like it, I'll take it. But it's one of those things. I'm kind of sitting tight at the moment. You know, the overnights was bullish, and at the moment we're kind of sideways here, but I wouldn't say we're bullish or bearish at the moment. We look like we're kind of range bound. What time was that? So around about 1:30ish, 2:30. So for about the last hour and a quarter, we're kind of range bound at the moment, so it's hard to say. But what I do like is this new style of trading that I'm doing earlier in the day with currency. They trade heavily on levels and fibs, and if you look at that single move up, it pulled back and bounced perfectly at that 50%. Look what it's doing again, bouncing at that 50%, which is really interesting. So if you, I mean, bounce, bounce, bounce. You may even go along with that higher low there. It's hard to say, really, but at the moment, I'm just a bit unclear. But I think saying it's bullish, I don't know. It's hard to say at the moment. We're certainly, I think range rules apply at the moment. So it's hard. You just don't know what it's going to do. We spend such a lot of time chopping around. I mean, yesterday it was kind of a bearish day. Day before it was kind of a bullish day. Day before that more just range bound. Day before that more of a bullish day. So the general overall is bullish at the moment. But obviously, you know, we trade very small time frames and very short moves. So you've just kind of try and capture just a little, you know what I mean? So we've broke below and cleared out any liquidity. We'd already done it there by a tick, I think. Maybe we hadn't. So at the moment, I'm just trying to play it. Oh, I see it. Let's have a look. But this is more kind of range bound at the moment. But this is a break out of it. Now, whether it retests it or pushes back in, God only knows. So let's just pop a couple of legs there. Let's put that leg there, put that leg there. And that kind of gives us that cross pattern down, 2 legs up and then down. Somewhere along those lines. Be interesting to see if Penguin Guy takes that. I don't know whether he'd have got an entry there because it pushed through and just didn't come back. He wouldn't have got in here because he wouldn't have been able to get out for the lows. So if he got in here somewhere, stop would have been here, he'd have been, I don't think he'd have taken that. So what he normally does is puts an order back here and he'll put no fill, I'm guessing. But that is one of his trades. Big move up with the break, 2 attempts to push higher, which fails through the EMA. So interesting to see. It's quite an obvious trade, that of his, I think. So so what I will do is just put my levels in for today, which is about there and there at the moment. So generally at the moment, certainly for today, we've gone up, we've come down. That really is just more range at the moment, I think. Now, I think the overall is bullish, but at the moment, you just don't know whether we're going to get a day like that or a day where it just chops around. But if we can get a decent setup off the bottom, maybe a higher low, that probably would interest me. Just turn this colour down a bit. Bit too much. So let's just cover my arse, just in case we get something down there. That might not look too bad. So there may be a channel down there. It is odd that it looks, yeah, that's why I'm not trading at the moment. I'm more, well, I'd have had a go at that. I think with it's more complicated than it looks. I think you're right, which is why I kind of wait for more obvious for more obvious setups. But what I did do there was drop down to one contract. So I wouldn't have been risking a huge amount there. I'd have got in there around about there, stop there. So it'd have been $150 risk thereabouts. I wait for that push around. It's around about where I put it. Once it pushes through that EMA, see, I no longer expect it to come back to the top. I expect it to test the bottoms then. So it would have been a 150 risk, which I can deal with. If I think it's clear enough, and that for me, that for me looked clear enough. We can clearly see a move up. You can clearly see a break in the way of two legs. You can clearly see one attempt, second attempt, and then it just dropped. 1, 2, 3 bars, and we're from the top down to the bottom. So, cheers, buddy. Yeah, it's the trouble is with trading, it's not an exact science, is it? One thing I've learned over time, now I've had some people say to me in the past, Pats don't work, I've moved away. I don't think that's the case. I just think trading is a lot harder than people think. Now, the difficult part is, for the last 4 years, my bread and butter has been Pats. And it's very hard to compare it to other strategies when you've only really done one and just dabbled more out of curiosity in one or two more. The downside to Pats, especially for newer traders getting into this business, which I was when I came to Pats a little over 4 years ago. Now, we all know there's emotions in trading and nerves in trading, and that is amplified by trading a very fast-moving market with very, very tight stops. The trouble is, it's very easy to get wicked out or a little bit of congestion just to take you out. You've got no room for error. So to be successful at Pats, you've got to be a good trader, and I believe it takes time. You've got to have super patience. Now, this other strategy that I'm learning earlier in the day was more or less where I started. It's more of an intraday trade. We trade the hourly. So what they effectively do, if I quickly show you how they mark levels, just, in case anybody's interested. So I'm just going to open up this chart that I had open earlier. Now, I'm only trading this on a sim, and I'll do it for a while. But what they basically do, what you basically do is that one is USD Japanese yen. So what they basically do is mark these levels. So they'll go back to a line chart, and they'll start off with, I think, the monthly and the weekly, and you just mark levels of support and resistance where market as previously. And as we know, this is a lot of our institutions trade. It is institutional driven. So you go on the monthly, you go on the weekly, and you go on the daily, and you mark these levels out. And then when you go to the hourly, back to the candles, what you effectively do is trade between levels. So at the moment, these different levels obviously have different amount of pips, different amounts of potential profit. So I took a trade yesterday. I think it was here, down to the bottom. I took a trade here. So what you effectively do, if price breaks above here, it'll either push up to the top or come back down and push the bottom. So it's catching it where in an uptrend where it respects that line and finding a bullish bar. And in that case, little bullish bar there, closed above there, it went up to this next level. And that's basically, so you could have put a very tight stop on there, put your order here and rode that up to the next. And this is the hourly chart. So you've got plenty of time to do your analysis and, make a valid decision. But it's a set and forget type of thing. So this is something I can kind of do earlier on in the day. But I got to say, I set a trade yesterday and went for a little over 1-to-1, set it, and it went for 3 hours and it won. It was only on a sim. We got news coming up, have we? Yeah. It was only on a sim, but you know, I tend to trade for three and a half hours a day, and usually from about 1:32 in the afternoon. I've got a chunk of time in the morning, so it's kind of nice to have something a bit different, but it's so much more relaxing. I can't tell you. So that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing a couple of hours study a day on that as well. But I'd like to have a couple of different strategies for various different times. The beauty of that strategy is you can trade. Okay, that was the news. You can trade your various different currencies, and you can always kind of find a trending market or whatever you want to do. Whereas, unfortunately, when you trade the ES, that's all you got. If it's crap and it's going sideways, you're kind of limited. A little bit tricky to do levels on here as well, because we're into all-time highs. So if you were trading up here, you've got nothing to look back on history and find out what went where. So it's a bit tricky, but it's uncanny how it respects those levels. It really is. Okay, so we've got a channel down with 2 legs up and a bearish bar. Now, my gut feeling is this is going to push down. Got a channel with a break and a new high. We've cleared out any possible liquidity. Not that there is anything there really. But at the moment, it's just sideways really. Trades using Pats. I went for 3-point target. They all failed. If I went for 2 points. At the moment, when it's chopping around, you've got to be a little bit careful. That ATR's been low, but what I will say is I think a lot it depends on the trade, which is why I wait for a specific trade. So let me just get a couple of charts up here a second. So if I pick Marco's chart just on this trade yesterday, this chart yesterday, the only trade I really saw was that one, to be fair. We had a triple bounce. I was still messing around with the channel down, but that comfortably went for 2, 4, 6, 8, probably 10 points. Another one of his there. That one... Where are we? 2 points. That one, there's 2 points. That went for 3 points. That one, if he got in there, there's 2 points. May not have done. At the moment, when it's chopping, you've got to be a bit careful. I am kind of looking at around about 2 points at the moment, but it really depends. If you look at that chart, 2 points, that would have made 3, that one would have done, that one would have done, that one may, there's 2 points, it may have done. At the moment, you've got to be a little bit careful, and that ATR has been low. It's not so bad at the moment, but it's been down to about 1.6. So I'd certainly be looking more on the lines of 2 points, but obviously it depends on the trade. If we come down in, we have a beautiful triple test. After a leg down, I'd expect it to come down some more. So it's that's why I just went for 2 points there. That wouldn't have worked. So I got in around about the close. So that went down for 2.5. So, I mean, I only just made 2 points. So what I'm specifically paying attention to is dropping my order right at the close when that bar ticks below. So at the moment, I'm going for 2 contracts, but more 2 points. Depends on that ATR. If that ATR stays where it is, I'll go for 2 points. But yeah, I think you've got to use the ADR with a little bit of guidance. But if you think going back, once these tariffs were introduced, that went haywire. It was up to 14 or 15 at one point, but the last couple of weeks, it seems to have got smaller and smaller. So, you know, you've got to make a judgment call, haven't you? But at the moment, the way things are chopping, they're not moving a huge amount. So, you know, you've got to pay attention to that. There is a lower high there, which is triggered. Actually, I
Order
like that.
submitted.
2 legs up, lower high. I like that. And I'm going to put that to about there. Yeah. It's a lower high. We got 2 legs up after a channel down. I like that. What's my risk? 375. Let's just go for 2 points, I think. Beauty is now I can't move my stop. So I'm kind of screwed. Channel break, new high, lower high, triggered. Little bit more risk than I would have liked, considering the ATRs, but that's the bar there. I'm actually in a couple of ticks before the close of it, so we'll see. We've not got down to the bottom. We've had a channel down there, 2 legs up, bearish bar, lower high. My gut is this is going to come down, so we'll see. So there's a failure there. Struggling to get down, to be fair. Tempted to bring this down to the failure. That's less risk, I will say. Struggling to get down. I think it will. Tempted to bring that down a bit, at least get to break even. Let's leave it where it is. We've literally bounced off there. Tempted to just let's just leave it. Trouble is, what do you do? I mean, it's a tick above that. Trouble is, I can't move that back either. I'm kind of stuck there. I don't like the way this is coming back.
Order filled.
I'm out of this. And now it's going to work. Look, typical, isn't it? Where did I actually get in? I think it was there, wasn't it? I think it was there where I got in. Channel down with a break, 2 legs up, big bearish bar, failure, but this thing's coming back up now. Or is there a channel down there? May well be. Ah, now there, it's a better looking setup on this other chart. to tick off my what's it? It does look like it's going to work. So lower high, failure, didn't get back up to it. It's typical, isn't it? You do. Sometimes you just got to leave it. So it was 2 points I was holding for. So that's where I got in, and I was after 2 points, so it would have to push through there. I'm pretty sure it'll do it now. There's bound to be some buyers there, buyer stops there. See, it's weird. Out of experience, most trades I get out of go on to win. The only trouble is that was a little bit more risk than I wanted, even though I got in 2 ticks back. But then there was a failure there, which I brought it down, and that reduced the risk. So it would have worked. It's pushed the tick through there, so it would have worked for 2 points. Sometimes you just got to leave it. So we got a channel down there with 2 legs up, lower high, failure. It does look like there's a channel down, but it's just one of those things. This is penguin style. No, this isn't penguin style to me. We've got a channel down there. We've got a break of it. 2 legs up, lower high, failure. Second entry long triggered, came down, failed. So that's not penguin to me. What I like with this as well is we had a little bit of a range going on there. We broke below it, attempted to get back into it twice and couldn't. But to me, I got a channel, 2 legs up, lower high, failure. Would have worked for a tick anyway, 2 points exactly. But now we're starting to go sideways. Long, are you? See, to me, we got a channel down there with a break. exactly that. There's support there, so I think that bar is a bit vulnerable. One, it's a little bit choppy. So what I see here, we've come off the top. We've got a channel down there with a channel with a break new high. That's played out. We've also got two legs. We've got a lower high, and then we start to go sideways. There's going to be liquidity under there, and there's going to be liquidity under there, and there as well. And as we've come from the top, my gut feeling is this is going to come down. I mean, it's a gut feeling. It's choppy anyway, so I wouldn't kind of want to get in there because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars side by side. One of them's a doji, so this has gone a little bit. That one I liked. I know it closed a bit above, but it would have worked for 2 points, but it is stacking a bit now. Been doing a lot of this lately, just not super clear. I will say there will be liquidity up here, but there is support running along there, so this is the area of development. That's Thomas Wade's new buzzword for not sure what the fuck's going on, basically. Speedy, hey dear, my friend. Let me just swap things around so I can see those comments a bit easier. Oh. That's me chart gone. What the hell's going on here? That's a bit weird. Push down into this. My gut feeling this is still likely to push down. You just never know. Once it starts to go sideways, that just sort of levels the playing field a little bit. You can see the support across there, so you can see it there and there. A little bit of a range here. There's a breakout there. See if this goes anywhere. Okay, a little bit of a channel there with the breakout. That's very tempting to take that. Trouble is there's not much room to the lows and it's already up down halfway. Let's see how it finishes. So channel down, 2 legs up. Diddle in the middle, yeah, I've heard that. It's not super clear, is it, really? It's a bit crusty today. One minute looks like it's moving up, next minute looks like it's coming down. There's definitely going to be bulls trapped there. I'm assuming, Little Hammer, that's where you went long. Trouble is, we're moving down. That's what worries me about going along there, because we've broken above it and now starting to head down. I hope it doesn't come down there and get you, but I feel it may do. Trouble is, you just don't know. 1 minute looks like it's going up, next minute it's dropping down. It could turn. It's just not super clear. You got stopped at break even, yeah. When it's like this, it's just so bloody hard. Still ready to go along, yeah. I'm just sitting tight at the moment. I don't bloody know where it's going. So at first glance, what I can see is a channel up with a break, 2 attempts to push higher, couldn't get higher and came down. So it looks like we've got a channel there. We've got a break of this channel, 2 pushes up, then a lower high. So my gut feeling is it's more likely to come down and test the bottoms because we didn't get to the overnight lows. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. And now after the 2 legs up and the lower high, this looks to me like it's working down in a channel. Now it starts to go sideways, which means it's going to tend to mess around for a little bit. But I think eventually it's a channel with a break. I think it'll find its way below there. You can bet your bottom dollar there'll be some stops below there, possibly there. That might be why it's having trouble coming down. If it gets below there, my gut feeling then is it tests these lows. It's not an exact science, and when it does go like this, sometimes it does mix things up a little bit, but that's kind of how I see it, and I know a lot of us see it ever so slightly different, but we got a touch, it's fitting nice at the bottom, but it's not super simple, is it? Trading does look a lot easier than it really is. I mean, all you're doing is looking at a bunch of bars going up and down and sideways. How bloody hard can it be? But when you kind of get into it, it's a whole new ball game, isn't it? And the trouble is when it starts to go sideways like this, it's obviously an area of indecision. So it depends if there's more, if the buyers are strong, it'll probably come up. If the sellers are strong, it'll come down. Who knows? You're long again on here, are you? Yeah, I'm just unsure at the moment because it's sideways, and as what it's just reminded me, don't diddle in the middle. And at the moment, we are just going sideways. Now it may work. Who knows? What are you on about? Measured move from where? I have tunnel vision. I don't quite get what you mean. See, I've said I wouldn't go long there because this is looking like it's coming down. And you got stopped out. You went long there. I wouldn't go long there because this looks like it's coming down. And I'm guessing you're out again. So I think you must be trading something slightly different, because this to me, from a price action point of view, is a channel down with 2 pushes up, a lower high, and this has come down. You went long there and got stopped out. You went long there and got stopped out again. So, but you don't care. I wouldn't have gone long here because it's going sideways. The reason I went short is because I went short up here before it started going sideways. So I don't understand you going along there or there. Certainly not there. There, I suppose. But that doesn't make sense to me because this channel down with a break, I'm looking for this to come down. So I don't know. I'm looking for it to break this level and then come down here. So I have to do what I think, and you've got to do what you think. And if we start kind of crossing ideas, it gets complicated for both of us. But from a price action point of view, what I can see is a channel down there with a break and a lower high, and then it looks like a channel with another break. But what I will say is at the moment it's just a bit unclear. Cancel all those lines. What lines are you on about? All these? Are you on about all these? I don't know what you mean. You're long again. That looks like a failure to me.
Order submitted. Trouble is, there's no room to the lows. Order cancelled.
So we've got a channel down with a push up. There's a failure there. Second entry long, which is triggered and started to come down. It's just choppy at the moment. There's longs trapped, there's shorts trapped. Let's see what anybody else has got. Retest the highs. See, I think we got to test these lows. If it gets below that bullish bar there, it'll have a bit of a drop, I think, because you've got a big bullish bar there, a big bullish bar there, and a big bullish bar there. So my gut feeling is if it breaks that level, it'll have a good old push. It's a tick off it now. It's touch, 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 leg and a leg. If it gets below there, it'll take out a bunch of longs there, which is why I couldn't understand why you'd go long there or there. Because I see a channel down there with a break. Yeah, we're below there now, see, so it's not had the push I thought it might. There you go. You got stopped again. See if, yeah, it depends how you trade, see. But you've got 3 stops in a row. The reason I wouldn't take there is because it's chopping sideways and stuff can go wrong there. So you say we've had 2 legs down. We've had a channel up with a break. We've made 2 attempts to push higher. This to me is a channel down there with a break. There's a lower high. We come down in a channel and we have a break of it. And I'm expecting to break the lows of this channel, which we have by a tick. We've also got a channel down here with a break, so I still think there's a chance we break the lows of this channel. That's just what I'm seeing. reference channel wise, leg wise, I would say there's a leg there and a leg there, so maybe we come down here. Tough one, but my gut feeling is it's done exactly what I thought it would do. We've got a break here, there's a bearish bar there and a lower high. Neither of those got stopped out. We had a channel down there with a break, lower high failure, and we've pushed down and break the lows of this channel. Yeah, that's fine, but I think we're doing different things here, because you're saying going long and I'm thinking about this is coming down. So it's done what I expected it to do. That's what I can see, leg and a leg. But I think we must be trading slightly different. But when it's doing all this sort of stuff, certainly from a Pat's point of view, you've really kind of got to stay out of it. So that's had 2 legs down now, so let's get it right. So we've had 2 nice legs down, so we've had a channel down with a break, 2 attempts. We've had a new low of this, but not down here. So are we going to attempt this and then come back down? My gut feeling says we probably will. After 2 legs down, we also had 2 small legs up. You're on about here, yeah? You're on about here. Why wouldn't we be looking to back to the top of the range? I wouldn't be looking to go back until we'd kind of broke to those lows. To be fair, it's not super clear at the moment, so it's another reason why I wouldn't get into there. But is that the lows of the range? It's hard to say. But just kind of looking, you're long again, just kind of looking at the overall picture, I can see a channel with a break, a lower high, and then we've got another channel down there with a break, and I'm expecting a new low of the channel, and we have. But to be fair, it's a bit choppy and a bit unclear at the moment, so let's have a look. It's just a bit unclear. I get you're thinking about going up to there, but after we've had this channel, I'd expect a new low. So when we had 2 legs up, we started to work down. My natural instinct is to think we're going to attempt these levels. So I would avoid going longs to give this chance to play out. But then we end up just chopping sideways, so that chucks another spanner in the works. You still have to go higher. I would like to give it chance to test the lows before we push higher, purely and simply because I can't tell where we're going to go at the moment, but just on the small stuff, it's kind of what I'm seeing, but I don't know. It's just not super clear. Two legs down, there's possibly a channel down there as well. It's hard to say. Let me just kill the colour there. Got a channel there with a break, see what happens. Let's have a look, see what Thomas Wade's got. Yeah, so Thomas Wade's got that. He's got the channel down, 2 legs up. He's kind of looking at the same thing as me, I think. That looks like, oh, it's the 10,000 tick chart. Let's have a look at Dan's chart. It's a bit earlier. Okay, so he's got that channel as well. It's hard to say at the moment. There's not much else to go with. Has Dan got us a chart yet? Okay, so Dan's got that so far, which is the channel I've got, and with a break from it, would it be expecting a new low? It's just, the trouble is, my experience is you have to do what you believe is right. As soon as you start doing something you think someone else is doing and it goes wrong, it's frustrating. So there wasn't a setup here, unfortunately. So channel down with a break, 2 legs down. We haven't made a new low. We've made a new low from this little thing, but this looks like something wider to me. Now you're more bearish. See, I'm a bit on the fence at the moment. I've not kind of, my gut feeling tells me we're quite more than likely going to test these lows and this low before we push higher. But when it's shopping around, I'm just kind of on the fence because I can't figure out. It's not super clear. And when it's like that, I kind of stay away. Yeah, so Taylor's kind of looking at the same thing. But he's got a channel down with a break. After we had that, especially when we didn't get back into this range, I'd expect it then to test the lows. But who knows whether it does or not? You just never know. I was hoping we'd get a little setup there, but we didn't. But what I would have liked first is it to make us a new high there before it came down. It just kind of went sideways. It's a bit choppy there, so I wouldn't have even wanted to get in there. That is starting to fit kind of nice now, so if we can get a second entry short, we may get that. Let's just move that. We may get that moved down. This couple of weeks I have been destroyed. Nothing works for me. I'll try with CL. In all fairness, mate, it's been really hard. I found it hard, to be fair. I was up $130 per account. I took 2 trades last week. One I won for $150, and one I got out for break even, but minus commissions, I think I made $130 odd. I didn't trade while I was on stream. I took one trade yesterday. I forget where it was now. I can't remember. I took one trade just on one of my accounts. But it's hard going lately, mate. A lot of people are saying summer hours. The trouble is, when you're a retail trader stuck in a bedroom, you tend to not really know what's going on in the world apart from what you talk to. But a lot of people say, I mean, I've been trading now, it'll be 5 years this November, so I've been through summers, but you tend to forget one summer. But what I do remember about last year is people were saying it'll get better when September gets here. So I know I've heard Max say traders will trade all year or whatever. They'll take Christmas off. They'll take some holidays. So that probably equates for the low volume and a lot of choppiness. News isn't particularly great at the moment. What with tariffs, what with Russia, what with... There's so much going on, which I suppose there is a load of choppiness. So perhaps, you know, but I'm finding it hard. I'm really finding I've got to conjure up on my patience. But But it's frustrating when you sit in ISO patience and you don't find setups. But I think it's much better to just not take a setup for a couple of days even than get a little bit frustrated and take something a bit poor. You know what I mean? A small chart, more noise. Absolutely. You know, I talked to this scruffy guy and he trades the hour chart and he said, you've got to be really accurate and good to trade faster moving charts. It's so easy to get stopped out because there is so much noise. I mean, let's just have a quick flick onto the hourly, see if it looks much different. A lot less noise. It's moving a lot freer, isn't it? Ours is just chop. I mean, there's a fair bit of chop there, but you may say a lower high there. Bullish bar triggered, came straight to. I don't know, but it flows a little bit better. But when you get back to our chart, it does. Don't know why that does that. I mean, it does kind of look like a bloody mess, doesn't it? There is such a lot of this, which is where you're going to be so careful. It's definitely moving down. I'm still thinking from this channel down with a break. Now, there was a little bit of news that pushed that a bit higher, and then we strayed away from that one. The lower high I took there, if I'd have just left, well, it went for 2 points. I got out for a tick, I think. It would have worked. Sometimes it takes this, but if it's a strong enough position. But I still expect to break these lows of this channel before we do anything. So whether we will or not, it's another matter when it's like this. Sometimes it's got a mind of its own. This is summer trade. Yeah, we'll be in August in a few days, won't we? Well, not even that. When's August? Day after tomorrow, isn't it? And that'll soon go. In another 4 weeks, traders will be back to work, so hopefully. Friday is the 1st. You just have to kind of sit here and wait for what you believe to be a setup, really. But just, that's why I kind of like having these, because I have a second opinion. So he's got that as a channel with a break new high. So say 2 legs up. And he's got that same channel with me. And then we have 2 legs up, another lower high there, came down, broke the lows, pushed back up, and then seemed to be this wider channel. Oh, he's just got his 2 charts there. He's looking at the same. Oh, this is Dan's. So look at Dan's. So that's as far as he's got. Let's have a look at Thomas Wade's. So he's looking at that. So yeah, second leg down, leg and a leg. Whether we'll get this full leg in or not, I don't know, but it seems to be the general consensus that this thing is moving down. If we get a full leg, it'll take us right below the lows of the day. Let's put that there. Clear out a lot of sub. Who knows? ES Trade, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I know. What I will say is, if you're on Dan's Discord here, and I like this, Dan does exactly what Mac. Now I'm going to give you a quick taste of this. So listen up. You should hear some volume.
This is my review for Tuesday.
Let's move it a bit further forward.
It's not really a good sign of showing rejection because the signal bar is almost like a double top and almost engulfing, but it's not engulfing, but it's a double top.
So this was the 25th,
so that's not really
no, sorry, 15th.
But you do have a lot of room back to the EMA, so you could take this trade just to scalp out before the EMA. And who knows, with this many tests at this resistance, we could just flush down.
I'll only keep it short.
And you
But
can see market
that
opens here.
is what I
We do
want from
find
Mac.
some support.
He talks about what he sees, whether he'd like a trade. And I think sometimes the closest trader I've ever seen to Mac is Dan. Dan is genuinely a really solid trader. He's got a great mental attitude and his trade choice. And he's not just making them up. He shows you, if you put the plot and what's in it, he shows you where he enters and where he exits. So he does take the trades. But that's what I would love from Mac. No, it's not. It's not. But you can get pretty accurate. And he does extremely well, he does. He makes out a lot of money. But that is what I want from Mac, to talk about what he's seeing and to try, kind of what I do, really. I talk about what I'm seeing and how I feel when I'm seeing it and what I think's happening. I'd really like that from Mac. But he doesn't do it. Why he doesn't do it, I don't know. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Some people are good traders and good teachers. Some people are just good traders. Some people can teach. Some people can't. What do they say? If you can't teach, do or something like that. I've asked him before too, but I don't know. I think Mac's a trader by heart, not a teacher, isn't he? But he's ever such a nice guy, and he does it for such a small amount of money. But I mean, we're paying $125 a year. You're never going to find any type of a trading plan anywhere near that cheap. So as much as I'd love him to do these, it's certainly value for money. I will say that. So let's see if it does break these lows. It's clearly coming down now. There, it's starting to go sideways, but I had that initial channel there, so I still expected it to. Do you know what? I'd say 8 out of 10 of my trades I get out, I've gone to make the full amount, so I think I need to learn to grow some balls, I think, and just take a setup and just leave it. Okay, so that's broke below there. So that channel is now paid out. So now I would, maybe not just yet, but now I would start to possibly put longs back on the table. Now, what does this look like as a range? It's not the best looking range, really. We've only touched it once. So I'd want to see some support here, really, before I even considered going along. But now that's played out, I can kind of... Here we go. It's all right. It's okay. So that's played out now. So it's just a case of... it's okay. I thought you'd put another... The only thing that confuses me about these is all these bloody different rooms. It's confusing. This is the scruffy guy I use, and he's got so many different rooms. It's took me a bit to get my head around Discord, it has. So would I want to go along here? Not just yet, because we're close to the overnight lows, so I want to give it a little bit of chance to possibly break those. So what I'm going to do, how long have I been going for? An hour and a quarter. I'm just going to take a quick 5 minutes. Let's have a look. What's CL chart most trade? I'm trading 7. 500 I was trading, and Marco trades the 500, and I believe it's Eric or Vlad on Max Forum that trades it as well, but it's the 500 tick chart, and I think they were going for profit of around about 10 ticks, I think. So have a mess around with it on a sim and get it right. But it just kind of, it is frustrating at the moment. You're not the only one that's feeling it, bud. So it's not something you're doing. It just generally is ours at the moment. Everyone's feeling it a bit. Thomas Wade never took a trade yesterday. So, don't get too frustrated about it. It is annoying when you spend all this time and you start to get some skills and you get no bloody setups. But I'm going to leave you guys for about 5 minutes. I'm going to make a quick drink and I will be back. I8NS. Morning to you, bud. I'm taking a quick 5 minutes. I'll be back. Karina will talk to you anyway. Okay. Should brighten up in a minute. Okay. Right, so measured move, comfortably made. There is going to be liquidity here, so it has cleared out a lot of this. So how far is this going to go down? So may use that. There is another measured leg there. Move down with a correction. Right to the tick, I think. You got me now, you don't need Aussie. I can sing for you if you like. Look at that, right to the tick. Boom. So, I think his funeral, I saw on the news his funerals, because Birmingham's only 50 miles up the road from me. So I think his, I don't know, I was seen on the news, it's coming up soon. So, a bit of a messy leg down. That's there. It's a higher low on this other chart. Quite a ways from the EMA.
Order
Let's see
submitted.
how this finishes out.
Order cancelled.
Fun. There is an overshoot there. We've broken the lows comfortably and we've taken out a stack of liquidity there. See what happens here. So, Thomas Wade thinks we've got a bigger chance. Let's have a go. Possible. Well, whether it's this channel or this, there is a little bit of an overshoot there. Often that we get a fair sized pullback there. kind of like a triple test there with a bit of an overshoot. I know he only trades the DAX. I don't, mate. There's a guy in Al Brooks's chat room. He loves it. No, I've never even had the chart open, I don't think, mate. You know, from what I'm aware is you can trade any chart. You can trade pats on any chart and any time frame. Price action all works the same, I'm led to believe. It doesn't hurt looking at other charts. You know, there are some that trade the NQ. There are some that trade the CL chart, oil. There's probably a bunch of people. There's so many different things to trade, isn't there? So it's just hard to know, really. It's a bit congested here. There is. Well, I looked at that bullish bar there. But I left it really because I don't know, it's just going a little bit sideways, is it? My gut feeling it was probably going to get back to the EMA, but there wasn't that much room from that green bar, so did I really want to risk it? I go a tick above there to there. You're not going to get a point out of that, and what am I risking? 3.25 points? It's just not worth it to there. Now, yeah, it could go higher, it could go, who knows, but even to where it is now, you'd have got a point. But is it going to stall there, or are we going to continue down? Who knows, really? There is a small overshoot here, so we could have a substantial pullback here. But you'd just be hoping rather than having any obvious evidence. But it may come up here and stall and start to work down. Sometimes when you think this thing can't go down any further and we're at the bottoms of the channel, it just does. And then what you may find out, then we end up having something else. Some other kind of a channel where we have a leg down and another leg down. Sometimes this thing, it's full of surprises. And when you think it can't go any further down, it just comes. Straight away there, you can tell straight away there's probably going to be buyers trapped there and there. Is this coming down? I won't want to take a short down here this low, but it may well come down here and take out any possible buyers that buying stops that there may be down there. I tend to, I don't know, it's not super clear. Is it going to come down from here? We're clearly working down at the moment, or is it going to push a bit higher? Is it going to come up and test the overnight lows? Who knows? It is tough on Pats at the moment, whether it's just Pats in general, whether it's all strategies. Market is very choppy lately. I certainly think it'd be a bit easier to trade bigger time frames. See, would you want to short there into the lows? A little bit of chop here when you got this. I wouldn't want to. Equally, I wouldn't want to go long either. Someone says they took the higher low. Trouble is, you take that higher low, it's gone nowhere. Straight away, you got stopped out. So depending on what you went for. It's just, there's nothing there, I don't think. So if you go a tick above there, okay, so it's got to hit 125 to pass you. So you'd have got a point at best. And that's if you got in there. And then all of a sudden it turns, comes down, stops you out. You're thinking overshoot, a little bit sideways. We're right down the bottom of the channel. It must go up. I spent a long time thinking that. Now I don't take anything for granted. Now I just sort of kind of, when I think it's a bit unclear, I just try to stay out of it. I should have left my trade go there. It clearly worked. Eventually, sometimes it does that. But if it's a solid enough position, usually work. Just means you've got to sit there a little longer. So all of a sudden now, saying about going to the top of the range, this doesn't look like a range anymore. It's amazing how this thing can fool you. I wouldn't have considered it a range, really, with one bounce. I'd want it to bounce a couple of times before I consider it a range. And same again at the top. We've bounced once. And now you take the range out the way. This looks much better. It's like a big ass bear flag. It's come down a bit far, I think. Hold it. That's the trouble, mate, with the markets as they are. It kind of shows you. Well, I don't know. Some people say markets are designed like this to suck in traders, and then, you know, there's a constant cycle, but it's just not super clear lately. So I suppose it's like marriage, in it. I got trust issues, so. Until something's super clear for me, I don't know. It's just, you know, I try and take it on what I can see, but I can see a channel down there. So ordinarily, when we have a break, we'll have a new low. And we did, not before it pissed around and chopped around for a while and gave everyone maybe the wrong impression. But I still wasn't ready to take longs. I got to give it a chance to do this. But another reason I liked it for going short is with the channel down, we had a channel with a break and a new high. It was almost 2 legs up. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call that a penguin style. Penguin for me is more this, but he may mark that. But after the channel, you can clearly see 2 legs up. We have a bearish bar, then we have a lower high. That doesn't get stopped out, and that doesn't get stopped out. That gives it a little bit more credence for me, so I think it's just slowly going to find its way down, which it did. So I just kind of play it on what I see it, but it's so hard to trust these markets at the moment because they're a little bit. Sometimes you can read these things like a book. Measured legs work beautifully. Everything works beautifully. They're easy to read. And other days, it's like you're out with a complete stranger. So it's easy to get the wrong idea here, but I think excuse me, you went long here, and I think you went long again there, didn't you? So even I think if I had a bullish bias there, I'd have stayed out of that purely because it was chopping, and a lot of times it'll just eat stops up. So anything bullish there eventually got eaten because I think there was more of a bearish momentum there after the break. But it's easy to lose patience when it's doing this because it's a bugger sometimes. You spend a lot of time learning to do this, and when you start to get some skills, all of a sudden the market goes south and you get no bloody setups. Yeah, it took a long time for me to get patience, bud. My patience use, I don't know how many times, if you look back on my earlier trades, if the market was going down, I just hit the sell button. And ironically, as we know, when you do that, it does the complete opposite. But if I'm not super clear, I think the best option is to just leave it and just stay out. I think it's much better to end the day on 0 than end on a loss. And it's like anything, the more you bang your head against the wall, the more you realise it hurts and you just kind of give up. But it's easy to get fooled when price is doing the chopping around like this. And I've just kind of learnt the hard way. But yeah, it's amazing. 1 minute it can kind of look rangy, and all of a sudden now you take away the range and it doesn't. It looks the complete opposite. How's everybody else doing today? I know for the first day in a while, Alpine took a beating yesterday. That guy has done really well. He's dead resilient. I'll give him that. But he got battered a couple of months ago. He's absolutely killed it. And I think really when you're winning, it's great. You're on top of the world, things can't go wrong. And when you have a red day, you just get that little seed of doubt. And when you get a second red day, that's when you start panicking and thinking, oh shit. So it can do that to you, but look, he's back in the green today. So
speed ramp to the downside.
I think the trick is you're always going to get red days. It's just we don't want them, unfortunately. But when you do, see, I remember the first time I streamed, I did one evaluation which I passed, and I got one account and I took it up to $7,000, and I had 18 green days in a row. I felt fantastic. The account was at $7,000. I got a payment. Then I had 2 red days in a row. And then I had a green day, and I had 3 red days in a row and blew the account. The red days were particularly big, but it got inside your head. Once that seed of doubt gets inside your head, it's messing around with you. But I think with time and experience is, when you have your red days, try and kind of get over it, because you can trade well enough to turn the tables. But while you're still in those early times and you've not had long periods of consistent payouts, you still have that little bit of doubt that creeps in. I find this is very much like a competitive sport. If you look at these top sportsmen, it's all up here, isn't it? It's that game of the mind. You're talking about let's say professional tennis players that have been playing tennis since they were in nappies. Or diapers, as you Americans call them. They've been playing all their life. They've been taken to these youth centres where they've been, I was going to say groomed then, probably not the right, where they've been trained, and that they still have mental coaches, because once that little bit of doubt, something starts to go wrong, it's so easy to spiral. So when you're having green days, I remember saying to my mum was alive back then, I've made it. That's it. I'm a trader. There's no going back, and then all of a sudden, it's amazing. The space of a few days can completely turn you around. It's uncanny. I'm okay. I've only got one account with Apex at the moment. Not for any particular reason. It's just I'm refusing to give them my money at the moment. I think I don't know. I've spent, over the last few months, I've spent an average of a couple of grand a month on evaluations. I'm not doing it anymore. I think I'm up to about $400, $300 this month. I'm sick of just throwing money at it. When I got my accounts to a nice level, I'd protect them. When I got a new account, I'd take a risk just to try and get it, have a little bit of a boost. I've stopped doing it now. So at the moment, I've got my 4 TraderFi accounts, 1 Take Profit Trader and 1 Apex. So I'm quite happy with those at the moment. I'm not spending any more money till I get paid. My answer was get it to P8, take a big risk, see if you can get $800 or $900 in it to give you a boost, and then carry on. It just doesn't work. I had a Zoom meeting with a trader last night. I've been trading for 20 years. And he said every trader's got to go for a period of losing money to start to appreciate the fact that you just have to play the game. And the money is purely a byproduct. You have to trade it as a trader, as what you're seeing, and forget about trying to make money. Easier said than done. But I've gone through stages of just throwing money at this. Doesn't work. It's weird, isn't it? I'm 55 years old. When you're young, you don't listen to your parents. And then when you get older, you start to listen because you realise someone who's experienced and they've done it, they're right, and you don't want to learn the hard way. But all of a sudden, when trading comes along, it's almost like you're back to being a young kid again, where you just don't listen. It's uncanny how it affects you. But that's what happens when things start to, when there's a lot of psychology in a particular job or sport or whatever you're doing, once things start to get in your head, you kind of, you're kind of doomed to a degree. But I think with time and experience, you start to realise that even with those bad times, you do bounce back. And then once that sort of self-belief and confidence starts to be more and more present, things get easier. It's hard to trade this stuff at the moment. It's clearly going down, but it's not really giving us... Would you take that? It's certainly possible, but the trouble is, at the time, we were looking at possible overshoot, so really you have to leave that, because you just don't know where it's going to trigger you and come up here somewhere. And not only that, when we're right at the bottom of a channel, you expect to move back up. We did, and then we came back down, and we're up again, and now we're back down again. I went through a period of taking trades like this. It's amazing how they don't work. So at least I'm up a bit today, probably 100 and... Back on a sim here. What if I move that to a sim? Just...
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
I'm up a bit. $100, 100 and a bit after commissions. So I'm bringing this down a little bit now. Now there's always a possibility that there's something else. It's taking trades at the moment. 0, 0, 0, 0 here as well. A lot around at the moment. Having said that, if I'm going for 2 contracts and roughly 2 points at the moment because of that ATR, that's $200. If you took 2 trades in a week, it's $400 a week at $860. It's over $1,600 a month. Now, even if you lose the $600 and go down to about a 70% win rate, you're still making $1,000 a month. If you've got 10 accounts or 20 accounts, do the math, there's still plenty of money to be earned, even with only finding a couple of decent setups a week. So I try not to get too down if we don't get setups. Just try and wait for one to appear. That one did work. I like that one initially. When we had the lower high, I thought, fair enough, that hasn't been triggered and stopped out, so it did eventually work. Sometimes it just does go a bit sideways. Okay, so clay chart as a clear load. Just in Thomas Wade, he's just adjusted his to there. That actually looks okay to me. I can bring that up a little bit now. Let's have a look. 10 gauge. Yeah, it's pretty much straight down, isn't it? We had that little drop, a couple of attempts to push higher, and then down it came. So it looks like we may even get to the lows of the day. We're not a million miles away, maybe 5 or 8 points away from yesterday's lows. So we've had this bit of move and then a big gap up, and then we may even get something like this, 2 legs down. Just never know. It may clear out a lot of this. We may get something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a call it an educated guess if you like. We may well do. But yeah, at the moment it's just pretty much down. For some reason, when I go back to my chart, the colour changes. Oh, it's stayed as it is there, which is unusual. So, second entry short up here somewhere. It does look like it's likely going to get those yesterday's lows. Orders are all.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Four wins, you're done. Good on you, mate. Yeah, you too, buddy. Good on you. And does it? A 30-second chart, you must have nerves of steel. I've even never looked at a 30-second chart. Let's have a look. It's making my eyes go funny. That's odd. It's a bit weird, that. I don't know how you do that, mate. I used to look at the... I did go for a stage of looking at the range chart. And that kind of looked okay from time to time. That's this for some reason. And I kind of... I don't know. It's like anything. Sometimes things seem a bit too good to be true. Okay, so possible overshoot there again. So I'm guessing it's likely going to take out yesterday's lows, which is there. We're only a few points away there. Well, literally 2 from that low. You done, are you, bud? Yeah, you take it easy, mate. Wanna have a good drink? Not the easiest of days today. Love you too, mate. You take it easy, bud. Training's hard sometimes. It does. It messes with your head. It really does. It's flipping cruel, really. Take it easy, buddy. Go and drink some alcohol. That's what I do. It works a treat. In fact, we're so close to this lows. I'll be amazed if it doesn't do it. But start drinking some single malt. Works for me. I finished a bottle yesterday, actually. 12-year-old Glenlivet. It was nice. Go. Any second now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Silly. Come on. We're only a point away, if that now. Let's get this done. Three, any second now. Oh, tick above it. It's gotta go, surely. There we go, straight through it. So, let's say now there may be something a bit steeper. So there does, I'm just going to kick that one into touch a minute. Does seem to be something a bit steeper there. I don't know, I'm not sure about that. Maybe there is. So, we surpass yesterday's lows. Trouble is, if you leave that as it is there, there's another overshoot. That's quite a quick move down, isn't it? How far is it? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 points. As much as it looks. So we've got this Friday's lows there. Now let me just, I put that measured move on there earlier. Let's see. So maybe on the grand scheme of things, we've had this bullish. We've had a big strong move up. After, I mean, it gapped up. Don't you really, after such, strong movement, it's kind of nice to get a correction, and that kind of looks to me like what that is. Whether it will get down below Friday's lows, I mean, if it gets down to that measured move, it'll do Friday's lows and most of Thursday's as well, but certainly kind of does resemble a correction of some. So we'll see. I just don't know how I'd feel about thinking about taking a short here. We've had 2 legs down. In fact, we've passed 2 legs down there. If you go from that to that, we've done that already. It's already played out. Yeah, Thomas Wade's just posted that, so he's looking at that as well with an overshoot. It comes down further. Yeah, sometimes these charts just don't make sense. You think it's going to have to pull back now. Sometimes it just does the complete opposite. Let's try something a little steeper. That actually looks a little better to me. Touch. So Dana's got this bigger channel down here with a small overshoot there, which I've got there. I like that as well, but it's hard to know what to do sometimes. Trouble is, when it's moved down so much, the further down it goes, the less you kind of want to short it. But that's given us no indication in the slightest it wants to push up, does it? So the only option is to just continue to look for shorts, as kind of strange as it feels. Don't forget, guys, this 90% off with Apex finishes tonight. I think it's midnightish, usually Eastern time. So first one we've had for a while. So if you've used my code or you do use it, it is much appreciated. I haven't got myself any this time around. Tell a lie. No, I haven't. I'm tempted to pick up a couple and just trade them alongside this rather than my usual stupid way of just going all out stupid. The beauty is, if you do have it for over a month, it's 80% for next month, so it's still not a bad offer. So I may have a couple and just trade them, maybe 4 contracts or something like that, just tagged on to the rest of these through the copier. Tell a lie, how long has this jargon been around? Not sure what you mean there, Russell. You might have to give us a little bit more information there, bud. Oh, tell a lie. Oh, I see what you mean. I wonder what it was on about then. Oh, tell a lie. It just means I've changed my mind. It's just like it's a British, we say some crap, to be honest with you. It's just a British saying, tell a lie. So if I realise I've made a mistake and said the wrong thing, yeah, I don't know, it's been around as long as I know. We got bunches of them, mate. We're full of useless bits of information over here. Yeah, tell a lie. Sometimes you don't even realise you're saying it. You've never heard it said, no, it's just one of the things we do over here. You got better things to do than make up the shit we talk. We got loads of them. I think Karina came over to the UK a while ago, and she said one of the sayings we say over here that she thought was quite entertaining was, for fuck's sake. It's something we say a lot when something going wrong, for fuck's sake. We tend to have these sayings for all sorts of some weird stuff. This is interesting. Bloody hell, yeah, we say that a lot. We have our little sayings here when stuff goes wrong. Hmm. Agreed and disagreed. Would agree to disagree, something we say over here as well. We look like we've got some form of a channel down there with a break. Trouble is, it's going a bit sideways, so there's not really much you can do here. some reason it's gone back onto sim again. What is going on? I change the chart, it goes back onto sim. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Great if I pick a losing trade, but not so good if I a winner. Seems to be when I change over chart. Let's just try that again. Let's go to 10,000. Go back. Hasn't done anything.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
So is this going down? I'd say probably. We've come up to the EMA there and struggled. We had a push. We come up and had another go at it, but this to me looks like it's likely to go down. There's just no setup, unfortunately. Oh, well, okay, I'm going to leave you to it, folks. Well, I've done a couple of hours. I'm going to go and have something to eat, and I might come back and do an hour later. So, best of luck to you. I appreciate the company. Don't forget, 90% off finishes tonight. So, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a good evening. Stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.